Hey, welcome back. Colorado ranks among some of the toughest housing markets. A new report from LendingTree says homeownership is slipping further out of the reach of many people. It's not what we want to hear. The research found fewer than 4 in 10 non-homeowner households nationwide can actually afford a starter home. It put Colorado at number 4 among states where starter homes are least attainable for homeowners. Rhode Island was the worst, followed by Utah and Hawaii.
Well, emotions play a much larger role in how you manage money than you may have guessed. NerdWallet says a version of this has been coined doom spending. It's making impulse purchases, whether it's to help you self-soothe after doom scrolling, to chase that dopamine rush of hitting buy, and they make it too easy, way too easy.
Way too easy. Connects right up to all your forms of payment. This often leads to overspending and buyer's remorse a lot of the time. Joining us now via Zoom to help us manage this response is Tara Alderete, financial educator with Money Management International. Tara, thanks so much for joining us. We do appreciate it. Can you start by talking about the psychology of money and what affects our behaviors when it comes to money?
Sure. Well, thank you so much for having me. So the psychology of money is an emerging topic. We hear a lot about it recently, and I think it's something we should really be paying attention to. Really, what this means is that just like any other relationship, we bring our past experiences and behaviors, thought patterns, to our relationship with money. And so the way that we think about money, the way that we feel when we spend money, these all play a part in how we spend and in this sort of doom spending situation that we're seeing today.
Very easy to say things like, because I am guilty of this, I'll be honest. And, people will say, well, just track your spending, Sam. But what are ways that we can actually implement that? What would you say?
Well, I think the first thing we have to do is create a budget, right? So that, it sounds like, okay, I know I need to make a budget, but it really is true. We need to know where every dollar is going. But then we need to really pay attention to how we are spending our money, when we are spending our money, and how we feel when we're doing that. So if I'm looking at my credit card statement and I can see that there's a lot of unplanned spending for online retail items, maybe I'm doing a lot of spending at night, maybe, late on the weekends after I've been scrolling social media. So paying attention to those patterns too, I think in addition to creating a budget and tracking our spending is really going to be key to help us.
What doesn't help is the algorithms that know exactly what I like. Because, and you'll appreciate this, my wife was having trouble with the socks that I bought. Have you ever seen the socks that have the toes? They have individual toes.
You wear those?
Absolutely. Not all the time, but I bought them when I was doom scrolling one night. Do you have any tips on maybe perhaps how to stop yourself from doing that?
Yes. Well, whether it's socks or clothes or anything else. So I think, first of all, right, examining those habits, like I said, when you're spending, how you're feeling, things like that. Creating a piece of your budget that you allocate for that type of stuff. If you know that you like to spend and scroll late at night, say, okay, I can allocate $50 a month to this. And once I've spent that, I'm done. But then also putting some sort of bumpers or guardrails in place, like maybe don't store payment information, maybe opt out of emails and text messages that you get from your favorite retailers. Things like that I think can help us too. And then find alternatives. One of the things that I've started doing at night, because I find myself at night on the phone and I'll click through my email and say, oh, such and such is having a sale. I have decided to turn my phone off and replace that with reading a book. I'm not going to get in trouble by reading a book at night. So different things like that I think can help us as well.
That's really good advice.
Yeah.
I know.
I wanted to read more. Perhaps I should.
Yeah. All right. Well, Tara, and in another time we'll have to bring someone on to address his toe-filled
Those socks are amazing.
Okay.
That's one of the things I don't regret doom buying.
Tara, thank you.